Okay, so when you get home tomorrow, for you at home and for you guys that are going to be home on Thursday, you're supposed to work on this transformation function. So I'm going to tell you what all these are called and where to find them on the calculator. This first one is called a quadratic because it's an x squared. The x cubed one is called a cubic. The next one is called a square root function. This one is called a cube root function. This is called the absolute value function. This is called the reciprocal function. In the book, some books call it a rational function, and this is called the greatest integer function. And most of you have probably never heard of the greatest integer function. So here's where you find them on the calculator and use the calculator. The first thing you want to do is you want to type in y equals, and then your x is by the alpha, you're going to push it, and then the square button is right up diagonally above the 7 right here. So there's your x squared button. Then to do your cubic, instead of hitting the 2, you're going to hit this caret button over here that looks like a house top. Then you hit that caret button, and then you're going to type a 3, and that would be that function. Then the square root button is you would hit second and come down to x squared. Oops, supposed to clear that off. Second and hit your square root button, and then you hit the alpha, the button by the alpha, the x, that's square root function. Then to get the cube root function, you're going to hit math, and then you're going to arrow down to this cube root right there. If you look at the one below it, it's an x. So like if you wanted a 5th root, you type 5 in first, or 6th root, you'd hit 6 first, and then hit that math and that number. But we just hit 4, and then you hit the x. The absolute value button is going to be math, arrow to the right to number, and then number 1 gives you the absolute value, and then hit the x, which is just to the right of the alpha. And then to do a fraction one, you hit alpha y equals 1, and that gives you a fraction. You put a 1 in the top and arrow down and hit the number by the alpha. For those of you guys with an old calculator, you just take 1 and hit divided by x, and that will be the same function. And then the one you probably never heard of before is the greatest integer function. That's when you got 2 brackets. You check this thing out, you got 2 brackets on it instead of 1. There's 2 of them. And you find that problem where you hit math, and then you arrow to the right to number, and then you come down to number 5 and you hit integer, and then type your x in by the alpha button. And that's the greatest integer function right there. So that's where you're going to find those buttons on your calculator to graph them. I hope to have you have all these done by the time you get back to school on Monday. And we'll keep going from there. So have a good rest of the week, and I will see you guys on Monday. Actually, I'll see you on Wednesday and Thursday.